Okay, and here is our diagram of a nuclear reactor. Over here are some control rods. These are typically made of silver or boron, neutron absorbing materials. Down here is small trace amounts of U-232. This is what causes our reaction. You see, our control rods are either inserted to slow down a reaction or taken out to speed up a reaction. Now this gets very hot. Water is pumped in from an external source, normally an ocean or a river, to cool off our reaction and to also turn into steam. Steam is exerted out, fed into a turbine, and that is what produces our energy, is the spinning of that turbine. This is uranium. This is what is inside of a nuclear reactor and produces its reaction.
Man, these power bills are getting too expensive.
See, now with nuclear energy, that's not a problem. Nuclear energy is cheaper and more efficient than traditional fossil fuels.
Why don't more people know about this?
Because there are more cons to nuclear power than pros, like nuclear waste and expensive initial startups.
Now, it may be an expensive startup. However, once built, a nuclear power plant has a very low cost of operation. While there's been accidents with nuclear power plants themselves, there has not been one accident transporting radioactive waste. With the technology and security of today, nuclear power plants have never been safer, especially in the United States.
Despite that, there's still the issue of radioactive power plants becoming unstable. Like Fukushima, for example, where 150,000 people had to be evacuated from their city because of nuclear waste.
Accidents like Fukushima are not probable in the United States because of regulations and precautions we take when starting up a nuclear reactor. Radioactive waste is far more controllable than carbon emissions.
The issue is that the transition into nuclear power is going to take away tens of thousands and millions of jobs away from people that work at places like gas stations or factories.
An organization named NEI has already promised to bring thousands of jobs for nuclear reactors. On top of that, nuclear energy will add billions to our economy.
On top of the billions of dollars that it takes to start up a nuclear power plant, it is also very time consuming. It can take up to decades for the waste to actually become a renewable source.
And while uranium is a non-renewable energy source, it is still more reliable and efficient than other energy sources such as wind, solar, and hydraulic. With other sources of renewable energy, energy output is dependent on weather, such as hydraulics, you have to have water, solar, you have to have the sun, and wind, obviously you have to have wind energy. Now with nuclear reactors, all that is dependent on how much uranium you have. And we have an abundance of uranium.
But once all that uranium is used, where is it going to go? Ever since the 1950s, there's been over 250,000 tons of nuclear waste that's just been accumulating and distributed all across the world into various places.
With burning fossil fuels, carbon is just released into the air uncontrolled. Now with radioactive waste, it's stuck in our reactors, and we can extract it and dispose of it properly.
Overall, there are pros and cons to nuclear power,
And why the United States should switch to nuclear power
or stay with fossil fuels.